Video, we are going to introduce the different types of market structures. Economists use market structures to group firms together based on their characteristics. These market structures allow us to answer the question, how is the dairy market different from the auto market? To begin, we need to define more clearly what is meant by market structure. It is the selling environment that a firm is experiencing. The selling environment that makes up the market structure is made up of three basic characteristics. The first telling characteristic is the number of firms in that particular market. Some markets have many firms competing against each other, while others have a few, or in some instances, just one firm providing a product or service. The next characteristic of a specific market structure is the ease of entry and exit. In other words, are the requirements to produce that product or service such that any firm can easily join, or are there some barriers to entry? Examples of barriers could be the large expense of setting up the firm. For example, the production of aircraft requires large upfront costs in buildings and technology. These huge costs prove to be a large barrier to entry. Other barriers could be imposed by governments, such as in the form of regulations, or the government might choose to restrict the number of firms producing a particular product or service. Ease of exit means how easy it is to get out of the market. If you have a lot of investments in machinery and technology that cannot be easily converted to the production of another product, then getting out of the market will not be easy. If it's hard to get out, then that might cause many not to enter because of the dangers if it does not work out. The final characteristic is the degree of product differentiation. To put it simply, how unique is your product or service? The uniqueness you're offering will help determine what market structure you are a part of. Based on these characteristics, we can place all firms in one of four market structures. We will go into these structures more thoroughly later in this video and in later lessons. One market structure is called perfect competition. The next one is called a monopoly. The third structure we will address is monopolistic competition, and the last market structure will be called oligopoly. We can place these four market structures out on a competitiveness continuum where we go from the most competitive market to the least competitive. Perfect competition is our most competitive structure based on the three characteristics, while a monopoly is our least competitive. The next most competitive market structure is monopolistic competition, and oligopoly is the next least competitive market structure. Our most competitive market is perfect competition. We will briefly explore why this is by looking at the three characteristics. The first characteristic is that there are many large firms, so large a number that no one firm has the ability to affect the market price. If one firm tried to raise the price, there are so many other firms selling at a lower price that no one would buy their product. As a result of this situation, we can say that these firms are price takers. They have to go along with the market price. An example of this market would be firms that sell milk. There are so many milk producers in the United States that they could not affect the price by altering their output. In addition, their product is considered a commodity or a product that is standardized. Consumers see all milk producers as being the same, so they will substitute one milk producer for another. In addition, this market is where the consumer has perfect information on the product. Consumers know everything about milk. That is why dairy farmers don't advertise. Why bother? The last characteristic is ease of entry and exit. The resources used for this market are such that they can be easily used for multiple activities. Because of this flexibility, other firms can enter without great costs and can get out easily. For example, a cattle farmer can switch to dairy quickly by buying different cows. The expensive resource is the land and is already being used for other cows. Finally, as a result of these characteristics, the demand curve for the market is considered to be perfectly elastic or horizontal. At the market price, consumers see perfect substitution, so that means perfectly elastic demand. Our most uncompetitive firm is the monopoly. The reason for its uncompetitiveness is because there is only one firm producing that product or service. The reason why there is only one firm is because there are some barriers to entry. Cost or government action could cause such a barrier to entry. Due to the fact that there is only one producer, there is no close substitutes. Consumers have no choice. As a result of this situation, the firm does have the power to set the price, but still sets an optimal price to maximize profits. If the monopolist sets the price too high, revenue declines. Nonetheless, a monopoly follows the same basic rules of profit maximizing behavior of firms that we covered in earlier lessons. Because there are limits to what the monopoly can charge, the monopoly has a demand curve that slopes downwards. An example of this type of market structure would be an electrical company. Most communities have only one supplier of electricity. The barrier to other firms competing is the huge cost of setup and government contracts. For many communities, the population is such that there is only room for one producer. This reality creates a barrier to further competition. As a result, this firm has a downward sloping demand curve and faces some of the similar realities that we learned earlier off in the year. The next market structure has characteristics of both perfect competition and a monopoly. In this market, there are many producers of this type of product, and because of the relatively low cost, there is easy entry and exit. However, unlike perfect competition, this market offers products that can be differentiated. A good example of this are restaurants. As a category, these firms offer the same product, which is food. But each firm can offer a type of food that is clearly different from each other. Pizza restaurants are seen as different from hamburger and taco restaurants. As a result of this differentiated product, each firm tries to create a mini monopoly through advertising their product to show how their product is unique from all others. Because of their unique offering, this firm is a price maker and has a similar shaped demand curve as a monopoly. Our last market model is the oligopoly. This model is made up of a few firms. The limited number of firms allows them to be able to influence the market. The best example would be automobile manufacturers. You can probably name all the manufacturers on your hand. The reason there are so few in this model is because entry and exit are difficult. The upfront cost of building a factory would keep most firms out. The interesting fact about this market is how these firms interact. Because there are so few of them, they watch what each other are doing and based on their decisions off of these observations. For example, about 10 years ago, SUVs became really popular. One firm, General Motors, produced the SUV, and because of its popularity, other firms quickly copied General Motors. Today, most manufacturers produce an SUV. Because these firms cannot charge unlimited amounts of money for their products, the consumers would quickly switch to other close substitutes. This results in a demand curve that looks like a monopoly and perfect competition. So in conclusion, there are 4 market structures. These structures can be separated by the 3 characteristics: the number of firms, the entry conditions, and product type. The firms' behavior are also different, as some are price takers, while others are price makers. Due to the type of products they make, some structures will advertise a great deal, and some will not because it will not have any benefit.